Marvin,
Begin, por favor.
can you see this, Marvin?
He can see that, but hopefully he's got his eyes shut and he's just gone all Zen mode, making this perfect audio. I tell you something, John. My younger brother, he's a carpenter, and he's got aspirations to get into business. But I run my own companies. I run them with you. My old man's a businessman. So he naturally has an interest into that. So he's been listening to our podcast, and he came to me just a minute ago, and he said, "So I'm really enjoying the podcast, but what's your angle on it?" I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "What are you trying to achieve with it?" I was like, "That's a very strange question coming from him. Almost like there's something behind this. This is almost a loaded question." So I explained to him the strategy behind it, where the podcast is important, but not the most important thing. Yada yada yada. He went, "No, I don't mean anything like that." I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah. It's something more surface level. There's nothing loaded behind it." He went, "I thought podcasts were meant to chill you out." I was like, "What do you mean?" He went, "You two, it's crazy. You're over here and you're over there. And then, Connor, I can hear you're trying to bill it back. And then all of a sudden there's a sales pitch for your stuff. Are you meant to be selling in the podcast?" I was like, "Of course we fucking are. I'm not doing it for free. I'm not doing it just for people to enjoy. I'm doing it to convince them to buy our shit." And he was like, "Well, do you want it to be more chatty?" I was like, "No."
Fuck off.
He was like, "Well, then you're doing a great job. You're achieving everything you set out to do."
Well, we've got one person literally just a minute ago joined the Facebook group, and I'm guessing this is where he's come from.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's only taken us 10 fucking episodes.
To be fair, I haven't even been checking it. It's
well, I don't normally. I just have Facebook up. I don't go on there very much. The thing is, with Facebook and LinkedIn, it's full of fucking stupid people.
I can't stand. The only social media platform that I check per se is Twitter. Grindr. Is Grindr a social media platform or a dating app? Well, shagging app.
Yeah, I think you're fucking going a bit far calling it a dating app, aren't you?
See, I got called Prejudice for saying, gay men have it great. You can get a fuck pretty much anytime you want.
It's not fucking prejudice, it's just reality. So my friend does, anyway.
Yeah, I was told I was being out of order and making too many assumptions. I was like, "Well, am I wrong?" And they were like, "No, but you shouldn't say things like that." I was like, "Well, if it's true, I can fucking say it. Facts are fucking fact."
It's like saying, I don't know, it's like saying it's you're being discriminatory when if you say it's easier for a woman to get a casual shag than it is for a bloke. It just is. A woman could walk into any bar, and I'll be talking about someone who's vaguely fucking hygienic and presentable with a mostly functioning vagina, could walk into almost any bar and pick up a bloke very easily, and probably quite a decent looking bloke, whether he was married or whatever. She could. It's just a fact. Other way around, it's much more difficult. I ain't complaining about it much, he said, lying through his fucking teeth. But it's just a fact. I remember, just tangentially to this, people do piss and moan and say it's unfair. That's where these revolting incel creatures come from, isn't it?
Oh, God.
Well,
that red pill, blue pill lot.
Yeah, they blame women because they won't have sex with them because they're revolting creatures. They're fucking needy, they're aggressive, they feel entitled. But it's not confined to people like that. I think I've mentioned this before, certainly to you, if not on the podcast. There was a woman. Neurotypical privilege is apparently a thing, and some fucking woman. I was amazed it was a woman. Some woman wrote this blog post about how having a sexual partner is a neurotypical privilege, and the government should do something to ensure autistic people get their leg over. I mean, what do you do? Ultimately, you've got to force someone to have sex with a fucking spaz. I mean, that ain't right. Women want sex with me because I'm fucking irresistible, obviously.
No, they do it for the novelty of having sex with someone as tall as their son.
Yeah, okay, possibly. I
Their
hadn't thought
toddler.
about that angle, to be honest.
Well, that fucking wench who's moaning there has clearly read an article, because they do that in Holland, in the Netherlands, don't they?
Like, what?
People with disabilities get given free shags.
Oh,
Like
right. I
prozzies.
mean, if it means going to a prostitute and she's willing, fine. But that's not what she was saying. She was almost saying, if somebody should be forced to have sex because it's a right. It's not a right. It can never be a right.
Yeah, that's very different.
Anything you desire or require that needs someone else to give it to you cannot possibly be a right. Medical attention, housing, food, because somebody's got to work to do it, and that means your rights to whatever your supposed right to whatever you think it is you deserve does not trump their right to say, no, I'm not doing that work for you because you're a wanker, or I just don't want to. It's my weekend off. That's just not. And people take this attitude of, well, entitlement. You have to do these things because that's fucking bollocks.
It is bollocks. It is bollocks. And strangely enough, the three traits that we're going to talk about that make up a successful tradesman, those three traits will help you in the world of getting laid and dating as well.
Oh, any walk of life. No reason it should be different. I mean, let's face it. The dating game is just a salesmanship, really. You're selling an idea, the idea being let's have some kind of relationship, whether it's an emotional one, physical one, or both.
Oh, how do you think I got terms in? I've been doing marketing and sales since I was 14.
How about if I say with a fucking profoundly deep stroke of luck?
Luck? I thought it was my marketing and sales skills. I've sold her a dream, mate.
You just sat there in the corner licking your eyebrows, didn't you?
That's a very strange noise for everyone listening and not watching.
Yeah. It's a very strange thing for anybody watching, to be fair.
Yeah. I promise not to do it again. Anyway, the three successful traits, if you want to get your leg over, I mean, if you want to make money as a successful tradie, what are they? Or get your leg over. What are they?
Well, they're very simple. I mean, and this isn't just random. This forms the bedrock of our. Well, a bit of background. When we get new clients on board, we basically take them through an onboarding process, which part of which involves them setting rules for themselves and values. And it's their rules for themselves and their rules for others too. What I will tolerate from myself and my staff and my company, and what I will tolerate in terms of being from customers and clients and suppliers. And that's all generally the best rules in my experience are based on your values. Now, most people don't have any values. They'll tell you all sorts of things. They'll talk about values, but they don't actually have any. Or they'll make it like really fucking wishy-washy. And they'll say, we believe in authenticity. And then they'll have a fucking mission statement, which is just it's just a word salad of bollocks. Now, we do it differently. We don't force people to follow our values, but we do say you need values of your own. And the thing about values is they are values. And you have rules based on the values, and rules are rules. And we found every time we break our rules, we fucking pay for it in the long run. It comes to bite us in the arse. And I know
every time.
If you've got rules about whom you will and will not do business with, there are times you might pass up on some good business. Like the guy who was rude about you, called you the apprentice. He could have been a great client, but I don't care. He broke the rules, and that means he just disappears. And I'd rather lose 10 good clients than take on one bad one. And every time we've broken our rules, we've fucking wish we hadn't. So anyway, the three values we've got courage, or confidence, courage, and integrity. Confidence, courage, and integrity. Those three together, they are irresistible, both in business and in the world of dating, all human relationships. And what you'll find, here's something, we found this anyway. When you actually have a set of values you stick to, most people will respect you for it, even if they don't like you, but there will be some who attack you for it. And I think I suspect the reason they attack you for it is they have no values. And they feel intimidated because they know they're not coming up to scratch themselves. So it's easy to drag you down than it is to elevate themselves. Now, by confidence, we spoke a little bit before about leadership. didn't we? I think was it the last podcast we did, where people in this in COVID they needed leadership. It's confidence.
It was.
It's not being timid. It's being forthright in your views. It's saying what you mean. It's meaning what you say, and having the confidence to do that, and not trying to second guess yourself, not looking for approval from others. And of course, that's then all tied up with courage, which is, it takes courage to be confident sometimes, and sometimes it takes confidence to be courageous. Now, being confident is about not necessarily trusting in your result, but certainly trusting in the process, in your skills, your ability. Most people have neither of those things. I mean, I saw today someone posting on yet another fucking navel-gazing LinkedIn post. I mean, here's the thing, right? LinkedIn post. There's certain people who seem to spend their entire fucking time posting about how shit their lives are and about how miserable they are. All this navel-gazing stuff. Now, to buy from you, people need to know, like, and trust you. Now, they might like you if you're some kind of self-analytical, navel-gazing, weak and feeble twonk. They'll certainly know you because you tell them everything and you wear everything on your fucking sleeve. But they don't trust you. They ain't going to trust you to handle their business because you're a flake. When you're writing, saying things like, I couldn't get up this morning and stayed in bed and all my client work went to shit, that does not fill me with confidence to say, oh, there's a likely candidate to do work for me.
And it's like when you see these marketers moaning about lack of, clients and lack of work. It's like the very one thing you're meant to be good at is marketing, and you can't even do it for yourself. So how the fuck are you going to do it for others?
Yeah,
it's like hiring a carpenter who posts pictures of all the fucked up wooden benches they make, and they're never level. They're always wobbly.
It's a little bit like website designers and SEO specialists spamming you. Well, if you're so good, why am I not finding you on the web in the internet? Why are you not appearing? And assuming you think I'm looking for this shit, why are you not appearing as an SEO expert? How about because you're fucking shit?
It's
confidence and courage kind of go hand in hand, and of course, integrity underpins the law. It's one really good definition is doing the right thing or doing what you believe is right, even when no one's watching.
Yeah, you
do it because it's the right thing.
Yeah,
that's part. I don't think it's all of it, but I think it's a big part of it. For us, for me, integrity goes a lot further. Sorry?
Intent is massive. You have to have, as you just said, those three things underpinned with the desire to do the right thing. And your intentions when you're trying to do the right thing are so fucking important. So fucking important. And I might have missed your point because you broke up a little bit there for me.
So I'm trying to find out how the hell I can make this fucking window stay on top. Keep on top. That probably isn't it. So, what I mean by this is, for us saying, I guess integrity is a little bit like pornography. It's hard to explain, but you know it when you see it.
Yeah.
So here's a classic case. A guy was messaging me the other day. I didn't get into a long discussion, but it just turned out he's got a side hustle. He wants to sell a product which is essentially just a £200 or £300 product. And I could have, with some legitimacy, sold him on foundations because that's what we could teach him to do. But a better solution was the course craft program by Shane Malak, and a lot cheaper. I think it's like $200 one-off as opposed to 250 quid a month for a year's commitment. Well, integrity is telling him there's a solution that meets your needs better. It's nothing to do with us, and it's cheaper, and here you go. I gain nothing from that except his goodwill.
Yeah.
And I'm only talking about it now as an example. I know some people would actually post that on LinkedIn as a post, probably in between videos of them giving homeless people fucking food and stuff. Fucking nauseating. But integrity is kind of saying what you're going to do and then doing it, even if no one's watching. To me, that's part of it. And indeed, integrity is saying things like, I don't know when you don't know. Not selling to people when you genuinely don't believe you can help them. I mentioned this before about transactional transformational selling. You know, a transactional seller has got a product and to them, all problems are nails and they've got a hammer. And they will do whatever they need to do to make you see your problem as a nail so they can use their hammer on it. Well, we don't do that. We say, okay, you might have a nail. We're not, our tool might be a little bit different. We need to know if you've got a nail or something else. If you don't have a nail, we need another tool. And we might not have that tool, in which case you've got to go somewhere else. That's transformational selling. I mean, one of the things we don't even take at the moment, credit cards. We've got a Stripe account, but we don't take credit cards because we don't want people getting into debt buying our stuff. Like, there's too many people out there willing to do that on both ends. They're willing to sell like that, and they're willing to buy like that. We want people who've got the cash in the bank so they'll feel the pain. It's not just fucking numbers on a plastic card, you know?
Yeah,
they will feel absolutely the pain of paying us, so they will be motivated to do work. It's self-serving in a sense, in that they do the work, so they get the fucking, so they fucking stay longer. You know, let's not pretend it's any different to that. And of course, another aspect of integrity, and this takes courage and confidence too, is to say, you know, say on LinkedIn, I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here for engagement. I'm here to do business. I'm here to sell. Yeah. And if you don't want to buy from me, fine, but don't expect me to get into discussions with you or give you free advice. That takes all three. And again, most people don't have the balls to do that. I see people on LinkedIn all the time saying things like, you know, we will, I believe in giving value, dropping value bombs. I suspect that's because they don't have the courage, the confidence, or the integrity to sell what they're giving away. It's so easy to give things away. What's harder for these people with the massive egos is to say, this is me, I want you to buy this, and then be told no, and not have it fucking destroy them. You know, it's what, to me, it's water off a duck's back.
I also find the people that are adverse to selling often have a lack of confidence in their own abilities to deliver the result they're insinuating or promising.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw today somebody once more posting that fucking imposter syndrome. They say things like, and this is the correct one, everybody, we all feel imposter syndrome at some time or other. No, we fucking don't actually. I know exactly how fucking good I am, and I stay in my lane. So there's no need for me to feel imposter syndrome because I don't pretend to be able to do things I can't. Yeah. I think if someone feels imposter syndrome, then maybe, just maybe, you don't have any integrity because you're not confident in what you can do. You don't have the courage to say you can do what you do. And you don't have the integrity to say, I'm not even going to try and do that because I'm not worthy to sell myself. You know, we talk about people setting their fees based on how long they've been in business. So if you can't do the fucking job, don't sell it. If you can, charge a high rate for it.
The one rebuttal I will kind of add to that is you're a unique case, John. You are.
I'm special.
You are speckle. I have experienced imposter syndrome, even when I've been getting fucking brilliant results for clients. And it's strange. It's fucking strange. I think I haven't experienced it for a very long time. I know you can't even comprehend it because it doesn't make linear sense. Yeah, great results, and I'm still sat there feeling like, oh, should I be doing the work? Well, of course you fucking should be doing the work. You're doing fucking brilliant, Connor. Yeah, but should I? It's very strange. It's very strange. And I have no magic pill for anyone that knows they do good work but feels that imposter syndrome, apart from probably talk to Vicky Labouche or join Foundations, and there's a whole hour and a half thing in there about imposter syndrome.
Yeah, that's a good point. I remember listening to that train when she was delivering. I was thinking, none of this makes any sense to me.
As you was going on, so imposter syndrome, fuck it. It's not fucking real. Fuck you. You're a cunt. I was thinking, hang on.
Oh, I suppose what you could do, if you want a cure for imposter syndrome, here's what you do. Go and get yourself vaccinated and catch the tisms.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's all coincide when I have my first flu jab.
But no, it's I don't know. I mean,
it's important to recognize your successes. Yeah, when you do a good job, you recognize your fucking success. You recognize your success.
Well, I mean, I don't know if this is the same thing, but I think it's on a continuum. people who can't take a compliment, you say that's a really good job, or you're really attractive, that's a nice hat, or whatever. Oh, it's not really. Well, what's wrong with that? Well, why don't they just say, yes, I like it too?
Yeah.
Obviously, you fucking like it, otherwise you'd be wearing it.
Self-worth issues.
Yeah, I just don't get that either. I really don't.
Oh, I know you don't. I know you fucking don't.
Low, I mean, maybe some people have got low self-esteem because they're just fucking shitty people, you know?
Perhaps.
Well, I guarantee some of them, I can think of one or two examples, not mentioning any names like my ex-wife. I wouldn't mention her name.
Or perhaps they're a used car salesman in a previous life. They're people who are scummy.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. Used car salesmen, estate agents, life coaches, internet marketers of all flavours. Fucking hell, we could carry on for a long time here, couldn't we?
Yeah, for too long. Anyway,
right.
Talking about
and also,
syndrome.
carry on. We got courage, confidence, courage, and integrity, and really, with us, they're underpinned by the desire to do the right thing. And the right thing is obviously subjective. I mean, there are some things which most people agree on, but not everybody. And what we agree on now is maybe not what we agreed on in the past. I mean, it's within my lifetime that doing the right thing did not include sleeping with members of the same sex. That was actually illegal when I was a kid, up until 67, I think it was. So, what people say is the right thing is very subjective. Now, for us, we'll come back to this, but for us, it's very clear. But we have confidence, we have courage, we have integrity. There are three values, all underpinned by the desire to do the right thing. That is almost, I would say it's almost guaranteed recipe for success, because you actually have to do the fucking work as well. But it's an almost unassailable framework for it, I think.
Yeah, and right there are our company tenets that Holly's been bugging me for so long.
Oh, there you go then. I've probably got these written down somewhere, mate. I've certainly got them in the draft of the book, so I'll send them on to you. It's almost like I know what I'm talking about,
Almost.
Yeah. I mean, again, then people, this is what I find quite frustrating as well. People talk about success. And I know often people talk about it in vague terms because they like to be hypnotic and fucking copywriting. But for most people, success is all about the money, which is fucking stupid.
Very.
I was actually talking to Vicky about this morning on a call. And I think often a lot of people, they surround themselves with stuff, whether it's money, big house, big car, all that kind of stuff. I think they surround themselves with these things. And I think you can surround yourself with reputation as well. So you get these influencers with their massive fucking followers and stuff. They surround themselves with this stuff because they themselves are weak. And it's almost like a shield protection. Look at me, what I've got. Look how successful. I must be something because of all this stuff I own. I find that quite, and I see people posting about they're going to make all this money. And I think, well, what if you don't? And before I just gave up on this kind of thing, I would sometimes ask, well, what if you don't? Oh, I will. It's guaranteed. I'll reach my goals. Well, actually, no, you don't know that. You cannot. You are not in control of that at all. And you will be destroyed if you don't reach your goal. And even if you do, you still find you're unhappy because you must be to be so fucking surrounding yourself with all this stuff. What you do there? What the guy did, I said a few weeks ago, blew his fucking brains out outside his wife's place of work because he'd done everything he wanted to do in life. Yeah, pretty fucking stupid. They had a hell of a headache the next day.
He did. It's like the people that are they're typically my age. If they're older, they're already a lost cause. Typically younger as well. That they say the similar things. It's a guarantee I'm going to make all this money, and their inspiration in life is The Wolf of Wall Street. And it's like you couldn't pick a worse film for you to be trying to. Yes, by stealing.
Yeah, and he was a junkie.
He was a junkie.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the book is brilliant. I'm not saying
the film's brilliant. The film's brilliant. I haven't read the book, but the film's fucking brilliant. But you should not want to aspire to that.
Well, I should, but I certainly wouldn't. Look. I mean, another person
to achieve money in those means.
It certainly wouldn't do for me. But look at say Britney Spears, who's come about her money honestly. Look how fucked up she is and how fucked up her life has been.
Kerry Katona.
Who? Never, no idea who she is.
Oh God, just some reality TV dickhead.
Oh, right. I just don't get it. And I remember one of my old clients saying to me, he thought I was, you know who I'm talking about. I was unambitious. And then when we fell out at some point, he would try to take a dig at me by saying, I wouldn't now take advice from anyone who has less money in the bank account than I do. Which makes no sense. Because if your goal isn't to make loads of money, then why would you measure someone by this? A bit like, say, a tennis coach who would say teach John McEnroe and Bjorn Borg and show my age. Well, they might be accomplished tennis players, but they weren't world class. But they were world class tennis teachers and coaches. You know, in the same way.
It's like in boxing, MMA.
Yeah. And in the same way, I don't have to run a fucking multi-million-pound business to be able to look at a multi-million-pound business owner and say, the way you're doing this is really stupid. We just have different goals in life. I wouldn't want a business with 150 people in it. You know, I can't.
No, you couldn't think of anything worse.
So for me, one of the best definitions of success I ever heard, and it's the one I use as my own working definition, came from Earl Nightingale. If you're listening to this and you've never heard of Earl Nightingale, you are not serious about personal development, because he was the granddaddy of them all. Pretty much everything that anyone's ever done, all these top people, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Wayne Dwyer, all those people, they all have their roots in Earl Nightingale. And his definition was, success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal, where worthy is worthy of you. So, for instance, you might say you want to build the world's biggest drug empire, and that would, you know, as in illegal drug, cocaine, heroin, stuff, drug cartel, that would be successful. Well, maybe, but it's not really a worthy goal, is it? Having an organization which sells a product which is intended to enslave and kill people, and then to enforce your own rules by killing people. That's not really a worthy goal. Not by any recognizable moral framework most people would subscribe to. So for us, our success is to grow our business. Now, here's the thing: you are in control of that progressive realization, because it's tied to your actions day by day. Get up in the morning, do the fucking work, get a result. It's not predicated on reaching a goal. It's predicated on the progressive realization of that goal. Well, that's within your control. Reaching the goal is not. You know, I suspect very strongly. I've got no evidence to say this, and I did know his wife, well, his widow for a while, Diana. I spoke to her about this, but she never confirmed it. And that was, I suspect Earl probably read a lot of Stoicism. He certainly read. He was very well read, widely read. To think he hadn't read Seneca and Epictetus and the rest is unrealistic, to say the least.
I didn't know that.
Oh, now you do.
Now I do. I just Googled it. In order to be happy, you only need 34 grand a year, apparently.
Well, that's going to depend where you live, surely.
UK.
I mean, in the UK, well,
this is largely a UK-based podcast, so.
Hey?
This is largely a UK-based podcast, so I went for UK.
I suspect it's a little bit more complex than that, because if there are people out there who have got clinical depression who won't be happy no matter what they've got.
Yeah, absolutely. You can say things like that. Next wall data collection if it involves humans. But
we do know, after a certain level, and I guess in this case it's about 34k, all of the things being equal, after a certain amount of money, making more money doesn't affect your happiness noticeably. This I've observed. I mean, it's almost a cliche, but you see these like murder mysteries on TV, and it's always rich people living in rich houses, and the wife and the husband are nearly always unhappy and they eat each other's throats. Well, we have cliches and stereotypes for a reason. They're our way of classifying things, or they come from somewhere. I just find it baffling why people are so enamored with goals they don't control, and they have the strangest goals. Why are they seeking all this money? And when it comes down to it, they don't really have a proper answer. So I can have freedom. Well, freedom to do what? And if you think about it, if you dig into it with them, they have the freedom anyway if they want it.
Yeah, they're just setting. Most people, it comes down to ego.
I think you're probably right.
I think it always comes down to ego, and that's why we say, you need to let go of that ego, because if anything's driven by ego, it's probably not the most optimal way to approach the problem, the project, whatever it may be.
Well, no, because what you're doing then is you're basing your well-being and your tranquility on an external value, such as an amount of money, whether you succeed at a goal, whether you win a race. And let's face it, no matter who you are, there's always going to be someone better than you at some point. You could be Muhammad Ali to Henry Cooper, or even Mike Tyson, who when I was your age, or perhaps a little bit younger, Mike Tyson was essentially unbeatable. He was just a fucking animal. But he
won a fight the other day.
Hey?
He won a fight the other day.
Did he? But he lost his crown, same as they all do in the end. If nothing else, time takes it away from you. You become old and you die. Nothing, no external value, no external prize lasts forever.
No.
Not even life itself. So why base your happiness on something you don't control? It just doesn't make any sense.
You cut out a little bit there for me, but I got it in the end.
Why base your happiness on an external value? It makes no sense.
You're absolutely right. Mike Tyson, it's interesting you bring him up. He's quite stoic now. He smokes a lot of weed. He does he takes hallucinogenic mushrooms, and he has a podcast called Hotboxing with Mike Tyson, and he reflects on how he was when he was younger, when he was just an angry, money-driven, crazed maniac known as the most dangerous man on the planet. And he said he was so unhappy with his life. He said he was filthy fucking rich. He was feared. He had fame beyond reason. But he said he was so angry, so unhappy. And he says it all came down to the fact he had an ego. He said the minute he let go of his ego was the first time in his life he ever felt happy, because he finally started living for himself.
I can quite believe that. That's actually very profound.
It's a good podcast as well. It's a really good podcast. He takes these mushrooms. He says he's seen God. He's not religious though. He's not religious. He just says, "I've seen God. He ain't shit." I'm happy.
Okay.
It's worth listening to. Hotboxing with Mike Tyson.
I used to take magic mushrooms, but I don't recall seeing God.
I've never taken a magic mushroom. I need to go back to Amsterdam when the borders open.
Yeah. So anyway, there's and let's face it, there's only people are so tied up in success, and they're so tied up in what they call their values, and they make all kinds of excuses for their behaviour. But there are only three things you can do wrong. The rest of it is freedom, and it's on you as well. And if you treat someone badly, it's on you. The only three things you can do wrong is that you can harm someone's person, physically harm them. You can damage their property or deprive them of the use of it, or you can defraud them in your contract by not keeping your word. Other than that, it's all on you. And you should. I don't think it's healthy to be looking for external validation on anything else, because it leaves you in such a weak position if things are. I mean, Mike Tyson is a great example of that. He was all tied up with his fame. And if you imagine imagine if your happiness is tied to your fame and fortune, and you start to see it slip away because you become less popular. I mean, I guess these people on LinkedIn, these influencers, are great examples of that. They start to see their influence waning because they're just no longer fashionable, or like that twonk did a while ago, that vegan woman got caught with a bit of meat on a plate in a photo and lost millions of fucking followers and contracts and things. That must be a very unhappy place to be.
They're just dessert though. It's their just dessert.
Oh, it's their just dessert, of course, absolutely. Yeah. I must admit, I've got nothing but contempt for these influencer types. And some people will say, "Oh, you're just jealous," and no, I'm not in the slightest. They are just such fucking shallow individuals. It's unbelievable. And the people who follow them are just as fucking shallow. I think I said this before. I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I know I've had this conversation with Vicky. There's some quite a compelling argument to suggest we could be the only intelligent life in the entire universe, because the sequence of events required for us to develop from eukaryotic cells, then multicellular life, then nervous systems, brains, and the rest of it. Each one required a very unlikely step to happen. And for them all to happen in the right order at the right time is just incalculably remote. So we could quite easily be the only intelligent life in the entire universe. Imagine that's true. And these Instagram influencers and their followers, for instance, or anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists and other stupid people, they are apex intelligence. The life is probably everywhere, intelligent life not so. They are apex intelligence. What a fucking sad indictment that is, eh? What a fucking sad indictment. This is the best the universe could do. Fucking influence on Instagram.
Well,
about their fucking makeup routine and all these fucking people sucking it up like so much bloody snot. Jesus fucking Christ.
But what if it makes them happy, John?
But it doesn't.
They're not harming anyone doing their makeup tutorials.
Well, that's arguable.
It depends on your stance on makeup and the ability for a woman or male to make an independent choice.
Whether they're harming anyone or not isn't the point. Besides, in any case, I'm just thinking of the shallowness of it and what people then aspire to. I mean, it's none of our business really what they do. I mean, they can have at it. It doesn't affect us in any way. But what a thing to aspire to. And our point is they're not that. The point we're getting at is they're not actually that happy, because they're basing their happiness on their popularity, on the contracts they get, the followers that they have, likes, shares, comments, and views, and that kind of thing, aren't they?
Yeah, true. Any influencer, which, yeah, you're right, which in 99% of them, 99% of influencers base their happiness on their metrics, for which they have no control. YouTube, for example, have this thing where whenever you upload a new video, they give you a rank of 1 to 10. It's basically, right, where does this sit in correlation to your last 10 videos? And I was watching a video of some YouTuber slating YouTube for that by saying it's destroying their mental health, because every video they're getting isn't getting above a 5. And it's just killing them, because it means they're never growing and they're constantly shrinking.
Well, I think that kind of sums everything up we were saying. What a fucking miserable existence that must be. And then imagine that person suddenly succeeds and gets a load of 8s, 9s, and 10s. How miserable are they going to be? The way around it, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. They get a load of 1, 2s, and 3s. Imagine how miserable they're going to be, feeling compelled every morning to log in and see if they've got a 4 or a 5 today. And then when they do, oh shit. I mean, I guess it happens on LinkedIn when people post about their they look at their metrics, their vanity, that are called vanity metrics for a fucking reason. Now they look at their likes, shares, comments, and views, and they start seeing numbers dwindle. So they start changing the way they post to see if they can change this. Why aren't they looking at the bottom line, how much they're selling? That makes sense. Your vanity metrics do not.
Vanity metrics are just beyond. It's just ridiculous. It's just anyone. It's really not hard to boost your vanity metrics. It really fucking isn't. Just ask people what their favorite ice cream is. Film yourself doing a good deed. Upload a picture of your son, your baby, even. Heck, fucking just go on Shutterstock.com and steal some photos of babies if you want some more likes. Why are people focusing on these metrics and not their bottom line?
Because it's easy, it's comfortable, isn't it? And it's rewarding because they get the endorphin rush.
Of course. We know the answer.
This comes back to confidence, the courage and integrity underpinned by the desire to do the right thing. Those things are hard.
I remember once, John,
Those things are hard.
I had a Facebook. This is relevant. I'm not dithering. I had a Facebook client, profitable ad campaign. It was going well. It was stable, which is the hardest thing to get with the Facebook is stable, consistent results. They said, oh, well, the likes seem a little bit low. Is there any reason for that? I was like, yes, because this is optimized to sell, not to fucking get likes. And they were like, oh, isn't it hard to get likes? I was like, no. And I said, I'm going to spend £5 and I'm going to get you over 1,000 likes and we'll see how many sales that drive. Well, I bet it'll drive at least one sale. Well, I just targeted the fucking African countries where it's pennies to target them. Got something like 3,000 odd likes for a fiver, and obviously not one sale. And I just basically said, please never question the likes and comments ever again. Only the ROI of the money you're spending with me. And they went, yeah, all right, point proven.
It's just comfortable, isn't it?
It is comfortable. It is comfortable when you're
That's
shit
what
at selling, scared of
it's
selling.
non-threatening, but again, it's insidious because it's ego-driven.
It's all ego-driven. I want to look like I know what I'm talking about. It's why it's fruitless. People looking up to Gary V, for example. Why on earth do you want to be the next Gary V? You don't even. I'm not even slagging the bloke off. You just don't even fully understand what he's doing there.
No.
And you just want to be the next Gary V because you've seen his comments and his likes. I would hate to be Gary V. The people commenting on his posts tend to be fucking idiots.
There's a few people in that kind of genre who they turn my stomach. I actually knew a couple of them quite well, and I just don't deal with them anymore. It's just nauseating. The shit they sell, the shit they come out with. But again, they're not doing anything wrong, I guess, because people are consenting to this. But it's caveat emptor, isn't it? Buyer beware.
Yeah. Buyer beware. The worst fraud of this is Grant Cardone, in my opinion. That 10x brand is just cancer.
I don't actually know the guy. I've never really seen him by him. I'll take your word for it. But,
I'd love to go for a drink with him. I bet you'd have a crazy night. But Jesus Christ, is he caught on the money?
Here's Mrs. EBG delivering a dog. Hello. Say hello to the podcast world.
Hello, podcast world.
There you go. That was Mrs. EBG delivering my dog. Hello, my dog.
Talking to Mrs. EBG, what's your 1 minute hate?
She's just gone. My one minute hate today is fat. We're talking about blame and ego and all these fucking fucked up people. It's people, fat people in particular, blaming their metabolisms.
All right. Are you ready to get going on that?
I'm always ready to get going.
All right. Let me get the timer going.
1, 2, 3.
Are you ready, kids?
I'm always ready.
Aye, aye, Captain. I can't hear you. Oh. Go.
So, fat people. Okay, there's one reason, with rare exception, there are maybe 3 or 4 people in the world who've got metabolic problems. Most of you, you're fat because you eat too much and exercise too little. It's that fucking simple. Here's the thing. Getting lean, building muscle is down to not eating too much, exercising more, and keeping your protein high so you don't lose muscle. But oh no, you're looking for the one simple fucking little weird truth, the little pill of the trick, the simple exercise you can take, the drink you can have before bed to lose 5 pounds overnight. The only way you do that is if you fucking shat your colon out. All right. The thing is, fat people, you're fat because you eat too much. You're lazy and you're fucking stupid if you think otherwise. That doesn't stop people doing it though. And it beggars belief how if you mention objectively, and this is true because science says so, if you say being overweight is unhealthy and can damage your longevity and your health well-being, that apparently is fucking fattest. Okay, that is insulting and offensive. No, it's true. You're fat. Stop. You're fat because you eat too much.
Shut up. Well, I, for one, feel personally called out, and I'm going to go for a walk after this.
It's true.
I agree with you. Those there was that recent bout of adverts in the last probably 18 months now. Jesus Christ, the last year doesn't feel real. That got called out for being fattest. I can't remember exactly what they were. I think it might have been Weight Watchers on the London Underground. And it was like, they're absolutely right. They just stated a series of facts by saying if you're obese, you're 10 times more likely to die, and it's more than likely going to be to do with heart failure. And they just reeled off a load of facts. And someone put it on Twitter like, not what I want to be seeing on my morning commute. You know, this makes me feel so bad about myself. I'm about to have a really bad day. There's so much wrong with that statement. It's unbelievable. But the fact that you're upset that someone's called you out because you're going to die early and you don't like it, and now you want them to change their behavior because you're a fat little cunt who can't stop going to Greg's on her way to work. Just Jesus Christ.
I've even seen some feminists say science is inherently sexist, and some other people say science is inherently racist, because it lends itself more to Western way of thinking and more to men's way of thinking. I just can't. Yeah, I just can't get my head around it.
Science.
Yeah,
they don't understand what science is.
Thing. Science isn't a thing. It's a method.
When people say the science, it really pisses me off. Oh, the science says. No, what do you mean the science says?
Well, people see science as being a discipline. It's not. But it has disciplines within it. But science is a method. There's the scientific method. It's a way of discerning truth from falsity using rigor, using repeatability, using objectivity. And I'll say to these people, which one of those three do you not want? Do you not want it to be objective? You don't want it to be rigorous? Don't want it to be repeatable? Well, what? Oh, no, I want. And women also, not just women, some people say, oh, there are other ways of knowing. No, there aren't. Prove it. How would you prove it? How do you know what you're telling me is correct? Any rigorous method you use will be by definition scientific, you fucking moron. Science doesn't know everything. No, it doesn't. You're right, science doesn't know everything, but nor do you. And just saying it and being controversial, you're not fucking woke, you're not special, you're not fucking blessed with different intelligence or ways of looking at things. What you are is fucking wrong and stupid.
What a statement that is. Science doesn't know everything.
Yeah, it's true, but it doesn't mean anything.
That even? Yeah, exactly. What's your point?
Yeah, so what? Religion, for instance, doesn't know anything.
Exactly. What's your point? The people who raised you probably knew fuck all, and now you're going after science. Science isn't even a thing.
People are scientifically fucking illiterate and stupid. Did I say people are stupid too? Anyway, let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up
before we offend somebody.
You wrap it up.
All right. Well, if you want to make more money with less work, less hassle, and fewer headaches by getting a higher class of client, selling to them at much higher rates, and having it all happen on autopilot and hands off in the background, go to, where do they go? OTTcollective.co.uk and join our Facebook group. Or if you want our hands-on help one-on-one, possibly, go to, email Holly at growyourbusinessfast.co.uk. If you don't want either of those two and you think you can do this yourself, what you do is you take down your trousers, put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye.
It might be worth mentioning the event.
Oh, shit, yeah. We're doing a special event tomorrow, Wednesday night. That's tomorrow. And what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing a web event free, so there's no obligation, and it's basically how to attract top quality clients on demand. It's at 5:30, and to get in, all you need to do is go to growyourbusinessfast.co.uk/free-training. Join us there, we'll be square.
And in the meantime,
stay safe, stay inside, wash your hands, attend the training tomorrow night, and please do not shit on your fingers. Goodbye.